Hey, everybody, it's Eri from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. This is a quick video, and it's the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the ugly is really ugly. Come on, let's go. Starting off with the good. I think this is a good for you. You'll never have to hear me talk about a link to promotion or update a video ever again. The company linked to has decided to move on to greener pastures without the help of spreading their message with the XRP community. I've appreciated the fact that they allowed lower minimums to participate in private equity. It's one of the first that I've ever seen among the broker dealers I personally know. They usually focus on ultra high wealth individuals, family offices, and funds. So, yeah, I was surprised that they literally dropped us with no prior communication. But, I guess, as they say, it's just business. I do hope that there's going to be new solutions for this community, solutions that have a focus on changing the height of that bar in order to diversify our holdings. I will keep an eye out on what's going on in Congress. I will keep an eye out on if there's any offerings that are coming new to the space, because I really do believe that private equity is one of those good diversifying decisions. So lesson learned, nothing stays the same except for change. And it's not the only good thing that happened today. Let me just share with you a couple of other good things, and then we're going to move on to the bad and the ugly. I'm having a lot of fun watching a lot of other people have fun in their metaverse. This is Crypto Owl, and yeah, he's having fun putting up billboards in his universe. I want to play for you a short clip of when Quincy joined me the other day, because he really understands that the Web3 technology is going to change our lives big time. Because we need to have a new economic model, because the old economic model is getting pretty tired, getting pretty worn out.
It's very siloed. You see this with assets, and you see this with companies, and not really just companies, but their applications. So all assets right now are very much localized to the local jurisdiction, and most applications have to not quite abide by the local jurisdiction, but they're localized by the company. So they don't typically share databases and share information like that. But imagine the amount of productivity based off of being able to share information on the blockchain, and the amount of productivity in being able to share assets globally rather than having them localized to these. Like I said, it's bigger than, and I think part of it too is it's sort of like imagine taking the same economic structure that we have now, the same digital structure that we have now for the internet, and just making it, let's say, 50% more efficient. Well, because it's 50% more efficient, it's able to grow faster than it otherwise would be right now. So you're going to see a faster amount of growth just based on the fact that there's a higher level of efficiency in terms of being able to exchange assets, exchange applications executing off each other, applications scaling. Like I said, like, how long would it normally take an application to reach 1 billion? I think you're going to see the record be set on the blockchain. Like I said, it could be a week. It could be like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And you may see an application go from 10 users to 1 million to 1 billion like that, because there's no cost involved in terms of being able to restrict them.
Oh, I think I loved the story the most in terms of how it made me go wow, is when you think about the guy who's in some really remote area of the world with just $4 in his wallet, and he can build something that scales to 1 billion people in 2 weeks. It's pretty amazing. Yeah.
The only barrier is skill, and that's leveled based off everything that I've learned. Everyone looks at me and they're like, "What? So you know someone?" Everything that I learned, I read from the developer documents on the internet. I literally went to the developer docs, read what they built, how they built it, what it does, and then I go, whoa, okay, this is how I apply it. That is the only barrier to entry. Like, I went to college, man. I went to college, did the whole college thing. Everything I did in college does not do all that whole thing. Everything you did in college does not give you any better advantage than some random kid, like I said, in some random country somewhere with $4 in his wallet and enough time to sit there and read and be able to create something. That's literally it. And it's crazy to think of it that way, but I think what you're going to end up seeing is you're going to start seeing sort of like sort of like the new Jack Ma's, where like Jack Ma is the creator of Alibaba, and he was like a farmer, and he created basically the Chinese Amazon. But you're gonna see it spin up faster. You're gonna see just and that's the thing. People may not even realize that like some like 10-year-old, or maybe not 10-year-old, some 15-year-old kid in some crazy country created it or something. They may be going, wow, this is really cool. What is this?
Yeah. I wouldn't say that a 10-year-old couldn't do it, So yeah, we've got gifted people at 8 years old, 7 years old. Yeah. It'll be very, very fun to see. But that's the incredible part, is everybody has a chance to use their brain and improve the world and make some gigantic changes. Everybody has that equal opportunity. That's the amazing part.
Exactly. And once you've created something, it can interact with anything anybody else has ever created too, which is just a whole nother. As a developer, that's the thing that speaks the most to me. Because if I built something, in order to have other people connect with it, I've got to build a whole nother set of tools and support those tools and maintain those tools just to have access to them. Where now you can just launch a contract, and now 10 other developers can utilize that contract, and 10 other developers can utilize those contracts, and and it just builds and just keeps on going. And there's no barriers in anyone's way in order to be able to be competitive. That's really what the key is, to be competitive. Yeah. Where, like I said, like literally just a few years ago when I built my own applications, like I remember like getting an AWS bill for like $300 one month and being like, oh gosh, like how can I have like any amount of users if I can't even afford a $300 AWS bill? But imagine only having to pay the execution fees. Holy cow.
Right. Like fractions of a penny, right? Now I'm going to move along to the bad. And I don't think anyone would disagree with me that it's bad when we have our free speech suppressed. Dr. Layton, everybody knows she had an article in Forbes that was censored. It was pulled, just erased. Well, she rewrote a new article. And this one is less hard-hitting in tone about Gensler. The SEC and the cyber unit and this broad brush approach that she writes about, well, even the SEC has not responded to her request for comment. The question of currency or security is at the heart of the SEC versus Ripple Lab. She reminds the readers the SEC has not complied, outright refusing to comply to produce the ordered documents on the 2018 speech that was a part of Discovery. Ridiculous to expect Ripple should have known XRP was a security when the SEC didn't even know. I'm thrilled she stuck to her guns and pointed out Gensler in Aspen tried to claim the Howey benchmark is a 3-part test, when in fact everyone knows it's 4. Gensler's been on the job for a year and a half, and it's time to get this done, she writes. At the bottom of this article, there is a note, and it gives us some insight as to why her previous article was removed. It states that the title and the content of this article were updated from an earlier story, which could have been misinterpreted as news when it was meant as analysis. Neither the author or her family members own or engage in the trade of digital assets, XRP, Bitcoin, or the like. The author accepts no outside compensation, financial or otherwise, for covering this important regulatory policy topic. The author has no relationship with any of the parties in this story. So there you have it. And now moving to the ugly. And I'm telling you, this is just a little bit too ugly for me. It came to my awareness by a tweet that the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, put out about 9 hours ago. And he said that he can't comment on the validity of the slew of allegations in here, but I can unequivocally say that I have never met or spoken to, much less invested in, Kyle Roche. Well, this Kyle Roche is at the center of a crypto leak. I'm going to cover it briefly, but it is really something that you have to take your time and go through on your own, because it's quite in-depth and there is a lot of what appears to be secret video. In this space, big stories come and go, but I think this one's going to be around for a while. It appears that, well, even if there is just a sliver of truth here, malicious actions to hurt other crypto projects to gain monetary rewards with lawsuits that take advantage of juries and the system. I'm telling you, this is the ugliest action of attorney power I've ever seen. There are multiple videos of Kyle Roche, a partner of the firm, that is touting about their class actions in the cryptocurrency blockchain space. Siamak Masnavi, as he always does, covered it very well, and the claims of the CEO of Ava Labs being involved in what are these evil conspiracies, although they're alleged, he says they're ridiculous. The anonymous organization CryptoLeaks alleges Avalanche paid the law firm Roche Friedman to sue competitors. They used the American legal system gangster style to attack and harm projects that compete with Avalanche in some way. I'm going to hold back my opinion until we learn what is true and what is not. There is an accusation here with some participation from Brad Garlinghouse, and I really have a very hard time thinking that he would have anything to do with the person that I saw on that video, who is obviously of a different world, a different class, and not even remotely part of the type of people that are associated with the company Ripple. I'm putting my common sense into play here, and it's just not playing out as true for me. Unfortunately, some people are quick to believe everything is true. They just believe everything at face value. Don't do that to yourself. Please, there's a lot of psychopaths in this world, and we need to have the facts before we can make an opinion. All right, everybody, let's go to a little bit of a lighter subject and jump to the fluff. So yesterday in the video, I talked about how you can get into Japan now without a PCR test if you can prove you've had 3 vaccinations. I know. I read all the comments. What I was trying to point out is there is some change happening with the thinking of allowing foreigners back in the country. And so I don't think that minimum 3 vaccination stipulation is going to stay or remain or be forever. So yeah, so I'll keep everybody informed. And those that have been vaccinated 3 times and do want to come in, it's still a little bit early, premature, because you have to be on a group tour still. But point is, it's changing and it's getting better, and I'm hopeful that it's going to get back to how it was before. Now, I know a lot of people are saying our world is never going to go back. We are forever changed. But yeah, let me have a little bit of hope that we will go back to how we were. In Shibuya, which is my favorite part of Tokyo, there was a new place that opened up called Baby Hot Dog Cafe. And it's really, really unique because there are 9 types of hot dogs that are being brought to a Michelin star level. And it's being done with their assistant chef, who has come from Hong Kong, and he was actually at a 2-star Michelin restaurant. So this is pretty cool because you can get one of their 9 dogs for about $6 US. And then for an additional $1.50, you can add iced coffee and coleslaw. I think it's a pretty good deal. In Japan, they call it America Dogu. So yeah, it looks really yummy. And for vegans, they're going to have a vegan dog on the menu shortly. But if you're not into hot dogs and you want to do something more traditional Japanese, check this out. There is a new Tea Room Zero, and it is easy to incorporate this tiny space into your life. Yes, it's very interesting. You know, there are some elements to a tea room that are quite important. There's the Niji Riguchi, which is getting rid of all the distractions. Once you go into the space, you're supposed to leave all those distractions on the outside. And then, of course, it has tatami. Tatami is the floor, which then surrounds you with the scent of rush grass and greenery. And then you have the Echizen Washi. This is the color, the neutral color inside, which is supposed to stimulate your senses. And then you see the hanging scroll that reads, "Born from zero, return to zero." It's kind of this concept of nothingness. And these tea rooms are available. You can buy them, bring them into your home. They are sturdy, 83 pounds, easy to assemble. The price on them right now is 1,300 US dollars. That includes shipping. And I'm going to let the video take you out that they've made, a real short 60-second video. But until next time, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.